All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a place. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. Yeah.
All right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, again to another episode of Just Say the Truth. I am your host, Damon Bird. I got Mr. Jonathan here. I'd like to welcome all viewers that are coming in now and for later on as well, as we got quite a couple things that we like to talk about. Obviously, it is Black History Month. I'm here. I'm going to promote there was one particular point of Black History Month in 1827. There was a journal that was released called Freedom's Journal by the names of John Russ Worm and Samuel Cornish. All right. These gentlemen were led to believe, to publish and establish, to giving 300,000 free Black people a voice in the U.S. And I quote, "Too long have others spoken for us. We wish to plead our own cause." I chose that because it also, I think it spoke volume to the way we are now, how we have different avenues and different platforms for us to be able to voice our opinion, political beliefs, religious beliefs, or just in general, just us and our cultural struggles and our cultural differences. And I really felt like that spoke volumes to me. And I feel like we should definitely share that. And Jonathan, any particular point you want to, if there's anything you have to say to talk about that, or just your own, celebration and the fact of this being Black History Month, if you have anything you want to add.
Well, it is Black History Month, my friend, and I salute you for that. Really nice. I like that. Black History Month means a lot to me, particularly being an African American man. It's a month to celebrate our legacy and people that paved the way for us to be where we are today, for us to be able to sit here and have a great conversation about sports. It's a great thing. It really is a great thing. I look forward to Black History Month every year. It's important that we teach our kids about the month and what it signifies, what it represents, and why Black History Month exists every month. I mean, every year. It's just great. Again, well done what you said. So I applaud you for that. Wonderful stuff, man. Wonderful stuff.
All right. I'm going with the first topic. So I was like, I don't want to waste time when we're on this show. We're just gonna get straight to the point. I want to talk about the Ben Simmons with his speaking to the reporters for the first time and him stating that mental health was not an issue in Philly.
Oh wow!
Now, from my memory served me correctly, I do remember him vividly saying that mental health, he was advocating, saying that, hey, the reason why I can't report to camp, the reason why I can't, report to games and be on the sidelines and things of this nature is because he's dealing with different mental health things. Only for him to say in a press conference with Brooklyn to say mental health wasn't the issue in Philly. So you were advocating for mental health for what particular reason? Was it for financial? Was it to get your money? Was it, knowing that, hey, that the Brooklyn Nets, couldn't take your money if you would have pleaded saying it's mental health instead of just saying you did not want to play in Philly? I really want to get your input on that. Like, what did you think when you heard this, when you saw this?
Damon, key word, attention. And this is why a lot of people can't be taken seriously when they cite mental health issues. It's something that we have to take seriously, right? It's something that we have to raise awareness about, right? But when you have people like Ben Simmons who use this as a convenient excuse to try to get his way, then that's when you kind of sit back and realize that we can't say everything is about mental health. Now, either you have mental health issues or you don't. This is something you don't play with because this is people's lives. So if you wanted to get out of Philly that bad, you didn't have to cite mental health issues. You could have just said, you know what? I'm not going to play because I don't want to be here anymore. Don't bring up mental health when you really don't, have any mental health issues. Now, maybe he might still have mental health issues. I don't know. But now he comes out and says he doesn't. To me, that sounds like a person that does need someone to talk to, or needs or a person that needs some kind of help, right? To say that, but you advocate mental health, and then now that you're on a new team, you say you're mentally okay. Like I don't understand. I don't understand where he's coming from, but I think Ben Simmons just needs attention. He needs to be in the spotlight. He doesn't know how to go about getting attention. I'll tell you what, you'll get more attention if you step your game up and if you focus on basketball a little bit more. All you got to do is refine your shot. That's it. That's all Philly was asking of you. And you couldn't even do that during your time there. During your stint in Philly, you couldn't even work on your jump shot. And because of that led to an ugly divorce. And now you're in Brooklyn. Let's see how long it lasts in Brooklyn.
Yeah, I was gonna advocate. I was gonna sit here and say, because I know you were saying how he was so like, oh, I went Brooklyn, I'm doing media, and I'm like, yeah, the first game that Brooklyn had, he was on the sideline. He was talking to reporters, like he's all smiles, and then I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, that doesn't look like a man that was dealing with mental health. And credit, guys. Let me say this. I don't want to say that everybody deals with mental health differently. Everybody deals with adversity differently. So I'm not saying that him smiling, him doing that, he's not going through anything. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that you were so huge on how, what your mental health was and your stance as far as not coming to the practices, not coming to the sideline to support your teammates, not doing any of those things. But yet, the moment you get traded, I'm looking at the behaviors. Now you on the sideline with the team. Now you're able to talk to reporters now. And it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, you're all smiles. So I'm like, it's one of those things where it's like, just speak your truth, speak your truth. Just say what it really was. Hey, I no longer wanted to be a part of Philly. I still wanted my money, and that's really what it was. And obviously he's not going to say that, but that's what the truth was. And I would rather him said that than for him to go the avenue that he went, because now we're going to be watching him going forward. It's going to be all eyes on him, like his game, everything. If we start seeing him shooting jump shots now, we're going to be thinking, okay, well, was he always capable of doing it? He just wasn't doing it when he was in Philly because he was checked out already. Like, there's so many questions that he's going to have to answer. It's going to be real interesting for sure. I'm just interested to see how everything goes on the fold for the rest of the year. So after All-Star break, it's definitely going to start revving up, and I'm looking forward to that. So to go outside that, to go with the next topic also. So we're going to swing over to the 76ers. 76ers were his first choice, ladies and gentlemen. Trade made sense by the words of James Harden. The trade made sense. What did you think when you heard that, or when you came across that?
He's another one. The Sixers got another Ben Simmons. Okay. Now I will say this. The Sixers did win that trade. And the reason I say that is because James Harden is a better all-around player than Ben Simmons. Only because James Harden can shoot. What Ben Simmons does better than James Harden is actually defend. Ben Simmons defends really well, and he's also a playmaker, and he also is an incredible passer. He has all those things. So he checks the boxes. He just doesn't check one of those boxes, and that's shooting. But James Harden, if you want an elite scorer, you got that in James Harden. And that's what James Harden could give you every night. So now Joel Embiid has that perennial scorer behind him now every night. But James Harden is another one. He is a drama queen as well. He behaves like a diva, and When has he ever been happy? I did a video talking about this. Like, he's never satisfied with his situation. This is a guy that is always malcontent. He is never going to be happy. You know, and at some time when the going gets tough, he's going to decide that he wants out of Philly. You know, and that's why at this point in his career, he's bouncing around from team to team. And he can't keep his butt still because, you know, he's never happy. I mean, well, damn.
So, what's up, Freddie? I'm sorry, I just see Freddie down. Hey, how you doing, what's up, Freddie?
Well, I mean, you know, damn, you wasn't even in Brooklyn long enough. I mean, you did last longer in Houston, but to me, he's a boy who cries wolf. You know, when the going gets tough and when it becomes too challenging for him, he wants out. Now, I understand that you could be a little bit angry, and I can see why he was probably upset because Kyrie Irving wasn't giving it his 100%. Kyrie Irving wasn't fully committed to the team. And I wanted to be traded to, you know, Brooklyn because I thought I was going to be able to team up with Durant and Kyrie Irving and win an NBA championship. That was his initial reaction when he got traded there. And he really, really thought that the big three will work out. Well, come to find out, Kyrie Irving is not fully committed. He, you know, you hear about the vaccination, you know, drama there. And so, you know, Kyrie Irving's not playing every single night. He's more of a part-time player. Yeah. And so I guess James Harden got frustrated and all of a sudden he wanted out. But he was the same way in Houston. He wanted out. He wasn't happy there. So how long will it be before James Harden says that, well, you know what? I'm not going to play in Philly either.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're right. I would say, yeah, the boy, the cry wolf is definitely the perfect term I would use for James Harden. It's as far as with his situations. When we talk about who won the trade, honestly, I feel like they both did by fit. Like, for me personally, if I'm looking at it from a standpoint of even when Harden went to Brooklyn, right? Everybody was trying to figure out, okay, well, now you got two ball dominant guys. Durant could play off the ball. Like, that's not an issue for him. He did it for years in OKC, and he was doing it well for Golden State. But they were all trying to figure out, okay, well, who's going to be the guy to run the offense? And James Harden, being the point guard abilities that he has, it was easy for him to just run the point and Kyrie to just go score the rock at the two. That was perfect. Even then, I still felt like it wasn't a much of a match made in heaven with that situation. But I feel like now with Ben Simmons coming over, him being able to run the point, run the show, but also still be effective, because that was the thing too. Like, even if Kyrie Irving is getting his or going off his one-on-one as ISOs or the running ISO plays, like Big Ben, you know, Ben could go down there, he can get your offensive rebound or a putback dunk, or, you know what I'm saying, he can get you those, extend those extra plays for guys to get open shots and things of this nature. So that's something that's not to take away from what James Harden is, but I always felt like for we talk about fit, I feel like Ben Simmons fits what Brooklyn is trying to do. Obviously, we need Kyrie to play at home, and he need that. Hopefully, they figure that thing out with that. But I feel like if they do, that's a win for them. And for the Sixers, it's a win for them too, because Tyrese Maxey is playing out of his mind right now over there for Philly. The other guard, then you got James Harden coming in. You got the big guy and Joel Embiid. I mean, everything is a match made in heaven. So I feel like for fit-wise, I feel like they both won the trade for sure. Now, who's going to go how far in the playoffs? We'll talk about that in a second. Actually, that's actually leading to my next question. So I will say this. My next question is, who goes further in the postseason between Philly and Brooklyn? Who do you see going further?
I would have to say the Brooklyn Nets.
You have to say the Brooklyn Nets.
I have to go with the Brooklyn Nets, and I have to go with the Brooklyn Nets. It's simple. Kevin Durant.
For Kevin? Okay. Yeah, I can't argue that.
Kevin Durant is, you know, regarded as one of the best players in the game today. I mean, you can't deny his talent. you can't bet against the Brooklyn Nets when they have one of the best players in the game.
Yeah.
And then you still have Kyrie Irving, and we all know what Kyrie Irving is capable of if he's on his game, if he is laser focused.
Yeah.
But when he's distracted and when he's not on his game, and when he's not
or at home,
then it becomes a problem,
Yeah.
But I still have to favor the Brooklyn Nets over the Sixers. Now the Sixers are not too far behind. I would say that the Sixers are at least a top 5 team in the Eastern Conference. We can make that argument. I think that's only fair. But you got to remember who's also coaching them, and that's Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers hasn't had the best playoff success all the time. And Doc Rivers has had some, nightmarish postseason games that have not gone his way. And he's been in the middle of a few playoff series in which it looked all bad for him. And he has this reputation for his teams choking in big moments.
Yes.
I mean, I have to go with the Brooklyn Nets. I think Steve Nash has done a terrific job considering with what the team has been through. You gotta give a lot of credit for Steve Nash. This is a man who really understands the game of basketball. And a lot of people, when he first was hired, a lot of people didn't agree with it. They didn't like it, But I think he's done a fairly good job with how everything has played out for this Brooklyn Nets team. I mean, this has been a team that's been in the middle of a soap opera with the Kyrie Irving drama, with the trade talks, the rumors, and everything. And now you add Ben Simmons to the mix, and you'll see how that will work out. But I gotta stay with this. I gotta stay with the Brooklyn Nets here.
Okay, I'm with you. I would if it's me, because I'm looking at where Brooklyn, and I think Brooklyn is the 8th. I don't want to say they're the 8th seed right now. I think they're the 7th or 8th seed. Looking at if we did matchups today, they will play against Chicago, and Philly is at 4, and I think they would play. I think it's Boston. It's either Boston or
I believe you're right. I have to look at the stats.
It's Boston. So I'm when I look at the matchup standpoint of it, right? I would say out the gate, if Brooklyn was to get in as an 8th seed against Miami, that's gonna be tough. That's gonna be tough for me to say. That's hard for me to say that they could get out the first round with Kyrie playing only on the road. And them playing, Miami coming in there, and you got to guard, Hero, you got to guard Duncan. Like, those guys can play up there in Miami, man. They can play down there. So for me, it'd be rough. It'd be tough for me to say that. I think I would go with Brooklyn to be the further, but I would say it depends on seeding. When we look at the seeding, that will kind of be a telltale of why I feel like, okay, like they may not. But it's always been a lower seed. It's always made a run. So they may be that team. They may be the team to come in at the 7th, 6th seed and make a run. It wouldn't surprise me at all. But I just look at the seed and it would depend. But I do definitely agree. Like Philly, Doc Rivers has a history of blowing through 1 leads. He's blown 3 of them. So I mean, that's been nothing new. But I'm with you. I'm with you on that. I can't argue with that one. I can't debate that one. I'm actually with you. I would pick Brooklyn for sure. Saying that to say, we're going to go to the commercial break, and then we'll be right back, guys.
Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making a place. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. Sport all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. Network. All sports, all plays. Network. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
Back at it again to just say the truth. This is Damon Bird, your host. We got my man Jonathan on. Next time I want to bring in, man, I know Freddie, you would enjoy this topic here along with Jonathan. We're going to talk about the Los Angeles Lakers. Okay. I noticed, man, I seen that Goran Dragic, man, he did a buyout from the San Antonio Spurs, man. Not even going to play a game with him. Do you feel like the Lakers should pursue Goran Dragic, man? He is an all-star. He's definitely a starter. He's definitely a guy that I personally would feel comfortable with the Lakers going to get to run that number one spot for sure, and having Westbrook come off the bench. But that's just me, Lakers fans, like you guys, like talk to me. What do y'all feel like that should go with that?
Knowing the Lakers and how desperate they are, they would make a move like this. I can see it happening. The Lakers are looking for any way to get better.
Yeah.
At least I hope that would be the case.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what direction this team is heading, because look,
what's up, Brandon?
They didn't do anything. They didn't do anything during the trade deadline, right?
Mm-hmm.
They missed out.
Yeah.
So I can see them making a move for this all-star guard. I can see
But
them.
they could make a move though. The only move they had was the John Wall deal. But the Rockets wanted the first round.
Right.
That was the only move they had.
Right. That's the only move they had. So, hey, you know what? I don't really think it's going to help their cause too much. I think all hope is lost either way. But I can see them. I can see them pursuing this all-star guard and seeing how far it can take them, possibly.
Yeah. I was curious. I was curious about that, because when I seen that he was about to become a free agent. In my mind, I'm thinking I went to GM mode. I'm like, oh, that's perfect. I would move a couple things around. Let me go get him, because hey, he's a knockdown. He's proven in the playoffs too. He's definitely made some plays for sure. And I really felt like I can't remember the team he was with. That he hadn't got hurt, I feel like they would have made a run too. I just can't remember the team he was on. Somebody look that up for me. In the meantime, I really felt like with him being a proven veteran, a guy, a savvy veteran at that can run your offense, and like seeing him over the years and his development, his growth, I looked at him and was like, man, that's somebody that LA could definitely benefit from. You talk about a guy who could potentially be your catch and shoot also. I wouldn't mind that pick at all. I wouldn't mind that at all. Now, obviously, I know that the talks were still them paying, 40-something million to Westbrook to come off the bench. Well, hell, that's just what it is at this point. If I got to pay him to be my number 1 6 man, and he's like running the show with my second unit, and they doing what they're supposed to do, then hell, I live with that. That's just what it is this season. And if they decide to keep him for next year, I seen a report too where I seen Stephen A. Point out the fact that that the Lakers should look to shop AD. Like, what do you think about that? Just to see the value that you would get for him. Like, what do you think about that move?
Well,
he's bold move like that.
He's always injured all the damn time. So I mean, hey, while he's healthy and still has some value, you can possibly shop him around. And again, the Lakers are a desperate team. They're always looking for any type of way to win. Any way they can win a basketball game and get back to the NBA Finals. Trust me, they're looking for ways to get back to the NBA Finals. So if one way would be to shop around AD, then hey, I'm all for it. As long as we could get a Damian Lillard or somebody like that, maybe. Hopefully, I don't know. But
right.
I mean, I don't know. I think this is a good time if you are going to move AD. You know, the offseason will be a good time while he's still healthy because you never know.
I don't think he was never happy being at the Lakers. Like at first it was all cool until he realized what he got in, especially with the whole Westbrook thing going on. I thought Westbrook was doing good for them, but he's actually not. It's like he can put up the numbers, but it still seems like it's not enough to contribute. You know what I mean?
Right.
So as far as is like I was saying within the group chat we was having, Westbrook is a dominant player, but Shannon Sharpe was right about something. I was just telling these guys, Shannon Sharpe was actually right about something. He can have all the numbers, and Shannon Sharpe compared him to the finest girl in the school that was always single, and people wonder why. Oh my God, if she was my girl, oh my God, I treat her like the prettiest and the baddest. And when you get her, it's not that.
You realize.
Yeah, it's not that. Like she it's something wrong with her. And I could tell, you know, and no disrespect to Westbrook, I could tell something this is my opinion. I could tell something was mentally wrong with Westbrook. And that's not just my opinion. That's from friends and everything else saying, man, I think Westbrook got some mental going on. And I actually do too. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's his environment that he grew up in or what, but it seems like he's one person on one side, but when it comes to actually doing something for that helps the organization, he's not down for that. He's down for himself.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, as far as getting exposure to go to the next team or trying to stay in the NBA or whatever Westbrook trying to do, because at the end of the day, you can tell Westbrook got a master plan to do something, and it's not with the Lakers.
Yeah, well, you know, he's always been described as a selfish player, you know, even before he joined the Los Angeles Lakers. And I just never, at first I was all for it, but now it just doesn't seem like it's a great fit.
No.
Like, it's weird.
But it never was.
Yeah,
it never was.
Yeah, and so
it never was.
And so basically you have two LeBrons on the floor because LeBron plays similar to, you know, Russell Westbrook. Like their skill set is identical. The only thing different is the fact that LeBron James is more unselfish. You know, LeBron James is looking to make his teammates better. And see, that's something Russell Westbrook doesn't really do. He doesn't make his teammates better. Yes, he does stack up the numbers on the stat sheet and all that.
Wait. But you say he don't make people better. So the year that he won MVP and got the Thunder to the 6th seed, that wasn't making his teammates better that year?
It's not good. It's not good enough. It's not conducive to
in the Western Conference.
It's not conducive to winning a championship.
Okay. I mean, okay, we can agree with
great point. He made a great point.
You know,
you made a great point. You made an excellent point.
It's not conducive to winning a championship. I mean, yes, he has those moments where he dish off assists, where he you know gets his teammates involved. But more than anything, he wants to try to do too much. He wants to try to, you know, take over things.
Yeah, he want to out rebound AD.
Right, and he's not that type of player.
And I think that's part of why AD don't want to be there, you know, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think there's something going on in the locker room. This team is not clicking. Like the chemistry's not there.
What you think about him?
I mean, yeah.
What you think about him, Mr. Bird?
Possibly with I mean, possibly AD is when we talk about AD and we talk about, you guys saying that, him and his rebounds. Like the other night, I seen he had played 35 minutes and my man only had 7 rebounds and 16 points. That pissed me off because I'm trying to figure out how is it that you're really one of the tallest men on the basketball court against the Warriors who play small ball a lot of times before Wiseman comes back, and you only have 7 rebounds. So it's one of those things for me when I think about what he does on the basketball court, it's phenomenal. However, I'll remember the first one to talk about how he want to play center because he doesn't the 5. But I'm like, but if you 5, like who at the 5? You can do what you do at the 5, or you don't have to necessarily play 4 position. When we talk about I always think of mentality, right? I don't. He has that run the offense through me. Y'all gonna play off of me. He doesn't play like that. He doesn't act like that. And I think that's the thing. I think that's the thing that LeBron is looking at. Like, hey, come on, bro. Like, I need you to step up and want it. But he don't act like he want
it. Because LeBron expecting Westbrook to do what Kyrie done. That's what that's my take on it. That's why he brought it to LA. Because Kyrie brought them boys a championship, and he thought Westbrook would come out and do the same thing.
Right.
Sure. Because they have some characteristics. I'm trying to get my camera right, y'all. He has some characteristic, but he doesn't have that quality Kyrie had. Kyrie had the handles, he had the shots, and it seemed like Westbrook just want to bully the lane.
Right. He wants to bully the lane. He wants to do too much, and he takes ill-advised shots. Like, he doesn't have the best shot selection, and that's another problem.
No, not at all.
And sometimes he wants to play hero ball instead of playing team ball, and that's why the Lakers find themselves getting in trouble all the damn time. But Kenneth here, he makes a good point with his comment. He says it's more problems on the team than Russ, and I agree. There's obviously more problems on this Laker team. For one, they put a bunch of old players together on one roster. And secondly, you got a bunch of players who have big egos. More problems on the team. If you want to put fingers at players, you don't want to point fingers at the whole entire organization. It doesn't only fall on LeBron or Russ or AD. I mean, it falls on everybody. It starts with front office. It goes to the team. It's everybody involved. And I've several times this season already. The Lakers have a problem as a whole, as an entirety. And it's more telling as the season goes on. And
it's not even a Lake show no more.
It's not. It's just
a bunch of old guys.
It's just a bunch of old guys playing basketball, and they look like a bunch of players that's playing street ball.
And I was so disappointed with the loss with Portland. Y'all telling me that y'all cannot beat Portland?
Right.
Like,
yeah.
That kind of burnt me.
Yeah.
That's how I know something has to change or somebody has to get traded. And the perfect person to get traded is Westbrook, because it will be a blockbuster trade. Like, other teams will still look at him like the baddest girl in the room. You know what I mean? Some teams will still give him the benefit of the doubt. Look at Vince Carter. He's been watched for, you know what I'm saying? But he was still out there. You know what I'm saying? I limit my words on Vince because I really like Vince. But we all know how he plays as a veteran.
Right. So when you bring which I like where you're going with it. I like where you're going with the vintage Vince Carter. I like where you're going with that. I would only say Vince Carter lasted so long because he can knock it down. He can knock it down. Mm-hmm. I can't say that about Westbrook. I can't say that.
Yeah.
I can't say that Westbrook can knock it down. Like, that was the one thing that kept him around for a while. I mean, obviously seniority, but him be able to knock a shot down, you know what I'm saying, when they called him upon the times he was in the game, that's something I can't count on with Westbrook. So it's when you say that, I agree with that. I 100%,
Exactly.
100%
He's
agree
right.
with
No
you
one
with
is
that.
taking that big contract off the Lakers' hands. The Lakers are stuck.
Yes.
Yeah. And
They're
that's
stuck.
true too.
They're
That's
stuck
true
in the
too.
predicament, and I just don't see anything happening at this point. The Lakers did this to themselves,
Yeah. So who do you? So we go to my. So my Lakers fans. I'm sorry, y'all. I know we went on. We talked about them quite a bit. So
I love. I'm a LeBron fan. And I thought it was just gonna be spectacular out there. You know what I mean? I thought it was gonna be the whole night, but it's not that. It's the players that he got around him. It's the players that he brought to the team.
Yeah.
Magic had some help in some, before he left, but it's not the Lake Show. It's the LATE late show because they don't have the wins. They late. You know what I mean? I love them to death, but bro, come on, man.
Yep, it's looking bad. It's gonna get worse before it gets better.
Oh my God.
So
I see that, and I hate you said that, Jonathan, but I see that.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the truth hurt, and it hurted my heart, but that's the truth.
Yeah.
I don't even think they're not even playoff material. Bro, they're gonna get their ass wiped in the playoffs.
Yeah.
If they do.
If they're lucky, they're a borderline playoff team.
Yeah.
They do. And if they do get into the playoffs, I'm gonna tell you guys like this: they're one and done. Okay. They'll be eliminated in the first round, and at this rate, they'll be swept in the first round.
So that's a good one. That's a good one. More. That's a good one. So let me pivot over to the next question that I want you guys to answer, man, because I'm looking at the NBA and I feel like although the Bucks are champions of last year, I really still feel like the NBA is wide open. So it goes into my next question of who you guys have as your NBA champion this year.
Ooh, that's tough.
Now repeat that one more time for me.
I said, so obviously the Bucks were our champions of last year, but I feel like this season, like the NBA is like wide open as far as who could we crown as our champion. So who do you guys have as your NBA champion this year?
I would say this, and I don't know if they're championship contenders or not, but I would say this. The Grizzlies are running the most entertaining basketball right now with Morant and they're looking like they're finna make the run. As far as to me. Now, y'all can say Philly might do it. Y'all can say the Nets might do it. But, hey, man, them boys in Memphis is not playing. They playing for keeps. So that's who I got my eye on right now.
They're also playing with house money, too, because they really have to lose because nobody's talking about them.
Yeah.
Although they're an up-and-coming team.
Yeah,
and they have played some entertaining basketball, but who I like? I like the Miami Heat. I really like the Miami Heat.
I'm gonna tell you another team that I'm kind of digging: the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah.
Are you talking the Chicago Bulls with LaVine and Zoe in the lineup, or are you just talking about the Bulls with just DeRozan in the lineup and maybe LaVine? Because I don't even know if LaVine will even be in the lineup come playoff time because he's getting his knee reevaluated again. And Zoe is out.
Zoe out?
I think Zoe is out for the year. I think he's out for the year, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, man. Okay. I'm gonna just go ahead and stick on with Memphis then. I'm gonna go ahead on, but I'm a true Spurs fan. I love the Spurs, bro, because you never know what Greg Pop got. You never know, bro, until the playoffs hit.
Yeah.
They could have done the worst and get in the playoffs and sweep damn near everybody.
Yeah. I hear you talked about. You said, Mr. Hill, you talked about the Memphis Grizzlies, which I commend. I commend them young boys. Them young boys is coming for everything, and I love that. I love the swagger, the attitude that they play with. I really feel like Ja Morant, and I said this coming out his draft class. I felt like he was the best player in his draft class, and yes, with Zion, and I meant that. I feel like he was the best player to come out of his draft class because of his attitude, his character, his charisma, and just the way he plays the game. He plays with a chip on his shoulder. And that right there goes a long way. And I feel like the Grizzlies absolutely are playing just like that. As far as what my pick would be, personally, mine would be Zoe back in a few weeks. Okay, cool. Appreciate that more. Okay, cool. So outside of that, I would have to say my pick would be the Phoenix Suns, man. I really feel like the Suns is gonna get it.
Oh
I really do.
Yeah.
I feel like they're gonna finish this year, man. I really do.
I feel like the Bucks have a chance to win back to back. I
Really?
Yeah, I like Giannis, man. I
Really?
mean, you know what? He took his game to a different level though last season.
I'm thinking they're getting him figured out.
I don't know. I gotta stay with Giannis, man. I don't know.
He's tough though. Hey, he's tough.
Run in the playoffs.
He's. I'm not sold. I'm just not sold on the Bucks, man. I wasn't last year.
Sprint. We'll see. This is a marathon, not a sprint. Because sometimes it's the team that
You're right.
It's the team that catches fire.
Yeah, that's true.
And last year, Milwaukee just happened to be that team that caught fire because Giannis got hot at the right time, and not only that, he got enough consistency from his sidekick, Chris Middleton. Middleton stepped up big in some of those games, and that was the difference.
Yeah, he did. Chris Middleton in the playoffs last year.
Drew Holiday. Sure. Don't forget what Drew Holiday.
Drew Holiday, he was the sneaky assassin.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, you're right. Now you're right. But you're right. You absolutely right about that.
Yeah, you can't count up the champs. I mean, you can't count them out. I give you that. You can't count them out
just yet. But I know what you guys saying. You got other teams that's balling right now. You got the Bulls. You got the Nets still. You got the Sixers. You got the Heat. You got other teams that are out there balling. But I feel like the Suns, man, they feel like they got unfinished business. They fell short in the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
So we could definitely see them get back to the top two. And Chris Paul is still looking for his first ring.
Yeah.
So, I mean, hey, this could be his final year to get that ring, and maybe
that makes all the sense in the world.
Right.
That makes all the sense in the world.
So where do you have the Warriors? Where do you have the Warriors finishing in the playoffs this year? Because the Warriors are a surprise team. Obviously, they didn't expect them to make the run that they did this year or to be in the standings the way they are.
They can do something very unexpected, bro, and end up in the championship.
Yeah.
What the Warriors show to me is that they're a well-run organization.
Yes, and somebody was asking, did I see Steph Curry broke a 3-point record, and did we get to see him break the record? I didn't get to see him break the record because LeBron was breaking some record, and the greats. What I mean by the greats, by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I seen Kareem took a shot, took a swing at dude, and ain't no telling which if they done sat down and talked about LeBron.
Yeah,
to me, from what I seen, they don't want LeBron part of that of their legacy on what they done. Mm-hmm. They don't want to congratulate him and welcome, bro.
Yeah,
they point blank period. They don't want him around the greats.
Yeah,
but he was great when he came into the league.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I agree. They do kind of they do shun LeBron a lot. I was gonna say put that question back up because Moore asked a good question on with Harden. He said, do you guys think Harden is enough to put Philly in the Eastern Conference Finals?
Yes, I most definitely yes.
But it depends on one thing. It depends on seeding.
Yeah, I would say that.
And that pick and roll with him and Embiid. Oh my God, bro!
Yeah,
that's true.
It will be unstoppable.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's true. That is true. That's true.
I didn't even think of that until you mentioned it, but that's true.
I mean, Regular season wise, I'm good with sitting at pick and roll. Playoff time, I would love to really see because again, these guys haven't played with each other. So again, he's coming in the middle of a season with them. I wouldn't put them. I personally wouldn't put them in Eastern Conference Finals, but I feel like if they were to get to the Eastern Conference Finals, it would definitely be due to their seeding and who they're playing, and them just getting hot and them just being more talented. Those two just being more talented than who they played in the playoffs to get to these conference finals. I just don't see them just like steamrolling through to get to these conference finals. I feel like talent-wise, they'll get there just based off talent alone. I think that those two could get it done to get to that point. Now, to get to the NBA championship, you still got to go through Milwaukee, and I'm gonna respect them for that because you still got to get through Milwaukee. But I don't see them getting beyond that point. Maybe semis, but as we spoke earlier, Mr. Moore, that's a good question you asked. As we spoke earlier, man, as long as Doc Rivers the head coach, the Mr. 3-1 blower, I don't see them doing anything further than that. I really don't.
Yeah, I agree. I strongly
because and plus they gotta get better team chemistry because you just traded on a new player that got to get used to the Sixers system. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? And sometimes that takes a while to adjust, depending on what player you are. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not saying James Harden not that player.
Yeah,
I'm just saying everybody don't picks up as fast as others.
Yeah.
Now the second year he could come out A+.
Right.
Like, woo, like we talked out. We could come back and say we talked all that shit about James, but look at him now, man. You know what I'm saying? But I don't see that happening this year. And I will make a bet. I don't think it will happen.
Okay.
But how do y'all feel the same way?
Yeah, I don't. It takes a while. It definitely takes a while. It definitely takes a while for them to for that chemistry to flow. That's why I don't feel like this year. I feel like them going to Eastern Conference Finals this year would be a stretch, and it would just because talent wise, they're just that much better than who they're playing. That's the only way I can see them getting there this year. I would give them a year, but next year.
And if so, Embiid would, because I can see the talent Embiid got. Mm-hmm. He's a player almost unmatched, bro. The only person that really could hold him down was Kawhi. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And that was a championship team.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if you get Embiid into high motion, you might.
Yeah.
But sometimes Embiid ain't clutch.
Yeah. No.
He'll get the bro. We didn't see how many times we didn't see Embiid cry because he knew what the hell he was supposed to do.
Yep.
He knew it.
Yeah. He did.
Yeah.
He definitely did.
So Embiid got some toughen up to do because this year he was doing the same thing as he was doing last year, crying over this, crying over that. You can't do that in the NBA, bro.
And another the other thing about him too is his health. He got to stay healthy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he definitely got to stay healthy. If he doesn't stay healthy, then James Harden is like it was in Houston.
Oh my God. Yeah. I had to look off on that one. Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much.
And
so, what y'all think about Brooklyn?
We will get to that question as soon as we come back from commercial break. That's a good question. Hold that for the next segment.
Okay. All right.
Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. Sport all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 5, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. Sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. Network. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
All right, we are back. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we are back to Just Say the Truth. I am your host, Damon Bird. I'm here with Jonathan. I see Mr. Hill. Okay. He will be back, guys. So piggybacking off of what we were talking about with playoffs, and we were talking about answering Mr. Moore's question as far as Harden getting him being enough to get Philly to the Eastern Conference Finals. We were talking about that. We had our picks. We had our takes with that. I want to shift over to the NFL, guys. I want to talk about let's talk about the parade, the LA parade, man. Sean McVay, Ms. Leslie, they all asked Aaron Donald, hey, will you run it back with us next year? What do you guys think? Do you guys think that the LA Rams will run it back again and go for 2?
I mean, it's rare in football that you see teams win back-to-back. I know the Dallas Cowboys did it. I know the 49ers did it. There's a few teams that has been successful in running it back. The one that I remember the most was when the Dallas Cowboys did it.
Yeah.
They did it in 93 and 94. They ran it back against the same team that they beat twice, and that was the Buffalo Bills. That was 93, 94. It's not often that a team can run it back in football, but if Aaron Donald does decide to come back and play next year, and with all the weapons that they do have, their window is still open.
Yeah.
The Rams' window is still open, so they can very well get back to the Super Bowl next year. And possibly ride all the way to Arizona and win another Lombardi trophy. Now, that won't be easy. That won't be easy because the second one is always the hardest.
Yeah.
So I mean, it won't be an easy run for them. But I mean, if you have all your returning starters, you have Matthew Stafford, who is now a proven quarterback, who is now a championship winner.
Championship quarterback.
You have your running game. Your running backs are healthy now. Hey, why not try to run it back next year? And every team's gonna feel that way. After winning a championship. But of course, you're gonna come into next season with that hangover. You're gonna come into next season with teams playing against you harder than they did the year before.
Yep.
Because look, every team plays tough against the defending champion.
Oh yeah.
Because every opponent has that initiative. They want to beat the defending champion. That's always number one on that bucket list. So, I mean, it won't be an easy task.
Yeah.
But if there's one team that can probably do it, it is the LA Rams.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I was like, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, for me, I would say it's hard, man. It's hard just to win one football game, man. Like,
right.
Being a previous athlete at that level, at all of it, it's hard, man. It's hard to win. It's a lot that goes into just one game a week to win one game, let alone 2 games, let alone 3. It's hard. So I would say there's always going to be that hangover because you're not, and it's not going to be their fault. It's just subconsciously you don't realize that you're taking a backseat a little bit because now you're having this offseason because now you're having more offers, sponsorships, like there's more commercials you got to do that you didn't have to do last year to your previous year. There's more sponsorships, things of this nature that's going to be called upon for you to do that you didn't have last year, where you were able to focus more on your game and focus on recuperating, getting your body back together for a full season. So I would just say the hangover is real. And I don't see them. I definitely see them struggling. I definitely see them. There are going to be games where I feel like that they left points on the board, and there are going to be games where I feel like they were a field goal away from winning. They just didn't have enough, and that's normal. But for me, will they run it back? That's hard for me to say. That is hard for me to say that. That's tough. Because so many things can happen the next year. So many different things can happen. So
and aren't the Chiefs and the Cowboys projected to be in next year's Super Bowl?
I'm not trying
That's what I heard.
God.
That's what I heard. I don't know if I'm accurate on that, but from my understanding, I heard the Chiefs and the Cowboys were the two teams projected to play in the Super Bowl next year.
The
Cowboys
Chiefs
will represent the NFC, and the Chiefs will represent the AFC.
Man, the Chiefs, I would absolutely 100% agree with. Like, I'm not gonna knock them. They're all because they're juggernauts. I'm not gonna knock off the juggernaut. Like they come in every year. But I can say the same thing about Buffalo too. In the NFC, it's a wild card. I'm just not gonna say that.
It's wide open in the AFC next year. I think
it's a wild card in the.
I think no. I was saying I think it's wide open in the AFC next year.
Oh yeah, because that's what I said. Because I said you could say the same thing about Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
You could say Tennessee. Like Tennessee was a healthy running back away from them making a really.
I don't see how the Cowboys would be projected to come out of NFC.
But because I feel like they're bouncing it off of. Obviously, you have your defensive rookie of the year, Micah Parsons. Their front four, you got D-Law still there.
I get that, but when you don't have a coach that can keep your team disciplined, then
we could. I mean, yeah,
actually going that far.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's true. That is true too.
Now I can see if they fired Mike McCarthy and hired Sean Payton. Then you would have a lot of cleaner games.
I was like, when I seen him retire, in my mind, I'm gonna say this, y'all, and I'm gonna say this, ladies and gentlemen, viewers, I'm literally gonna say this. Do not be surprised. Do not be surprised if Sean McVay sits out this season. Oh, Sean McVay, if Sean Payton sits out this season, to come back the following year and the Cowboys release Mike McCarthy next offseason. Do not be surprised if they do that.
It's coming. It's going to happen.
Do not be surprised if they do that. Coming. That would not surprise me.
That's his next job. He wants that job.
Yeah.
He's just taking a breather right now. Yeah. He's just, relaxing, enjoying his time off. And then when the time is right and when Jerry Jones calls him, he's going to be ready to go to work. And he will be the next head coach of the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it just seems like that perfect relationship.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So I can really see that happening sometime next season. Not next season, but maybe the following season. Depending on where Jerry Jones wants to take it. Because Jerry Jones is one of those guys who's very stubborn, but at the same time he's become more pragmatic.
Yeah.
I think he wants to win. I think he's serious about his team being that Super Bowl contender once again. And he knows what he has to do in order to make that happen. And that would be to hire an actual head coach and someone who is not a yes man.
Yes. 100%. But when you say that, when you talk about them being a yes man, understanding Jerry Jones, right? You gotta know who you're dealing with, right? So even if that is the case, like you not being a yes person, you're dealing with a owner who's like, no, it's either I'm gonna have an input and you gonna be just the face, or you're dealing with an owner that's like, hey, I want to be hands on with this. This is what it is, and this is how it's gonna always be. So it's gonna be hard anyway for anybody to bring in a coach with them willingly knowing this, that is this job really worth me going to, because I'm gonna be strapped. I'm hand strapped. My hands are gonna be tied behind my back. Being a best organization.
True. Their hands would be tied behind their back. But Jerry Jones hasn't always been like this. I mean, he gave Bill Parcells more leeway. When he was the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. He gave him more power, and he let him be the voice of his franchise. So I know he can do it. Jimmy Johnson.
I was just gonna say, well, what happened with Jimmy Johnson? Because Jimmy Johnson, wouldn't he want the same thing?
We going way back, and he even had a voice of his own and a mind of his own, working under Jerry Jones. So I think Jerry Jones can be more, you know, how would I put it? Less controlling. I'll say less controlling, and put the franchise in the hands of someone that he can trust, and someone that can, you know, make great personnel decisions.
Yeah,
you know, because I think by him making his own personnel decisions, that has only shot him and his team in the foot.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. You know, and just like, ladies and gentlemen, that is another episode of Just Say the Truth, where we are on Wednesdays and Fridays at 8 p.m. Central Time. I'm your host, David Bird, also co-hosting with Jonathan. And shout out to Phil, man. Appreciate the production, man. Appreciate you for you doing this, man. I
appreciate
behind the scenes, man. You know, he doesn't, you know, he's not getting the recognition, but I want you to be recognized for what you were doing, sir. See you guys again on Friday. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.